hiding, big dog. The Lions are coming in hot and taking it next season. So, John, we got to talk about your Detroit Lions, and we got to talk about the Super Bowl favorites for 2025 and the freaking Dallas Cowboys. Guys, as you guys know, the Dallas Cowboys have finally gotten their new head coach. They got their new offensive coordinator. They got their new defensive coordinator. They're getting the coaching staff put together, right? Stephen Jones was talking to the media bowl last Thursday at the Senior Bowl, and he said the Cowboys are pretty close. The Cowboys are pretty close to putting everything together and winning the Super Bowl. So then I got to ponder some thoughts. Then I got to start pondering. I'm like, man, are the Dallas Cowboys really closer to the Super Bowl than the Detroit Lions are? Because as you guys know, the Detroit Lions, right, they're the greatest thing since sliced bread. The Detroit Lions are to the moon, baby. The Detroit Lions are this player away, this player away. Hell, they should have won it last year if it wasn't for injuries and bad play calling and going for it on fourth down and not having a kicker or a quarterback or a receiver. You guys get the drift. But when we look at these two rosters and we look at the rosters on paper, guys, I got to ask the question. Are the Dallas Cowboys closer to the Super Bowl than the Detroit Lions? Let that marinate. Let that sink in. Let's think about this logically. Because when you look at the Dallas Cowboys roster, they have a top 5 receiver in the NFL. The Detroit Lions do not. St. Brown is close, but he is not top 5. CeeDee Lamb is top 5. The Dallas Cowboys have a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. The Detroit Lions do not. The Dallas Cowboys have a top 5 edge rusher in the NFL. The Detroit Lions do not. The Dallas Cowboys, they have won Super Bowls. The Detroit Lions have not. The Lions had success last season, yes. The Detroit Lions came out and won 15 games last season, yes. I understand that. But they had the 18th easiest schedule in the NFL. The Dallas Cowboys had 7 wins last season, yes, I understand that. They had the 20th hardest schedule in the NFL and still came out with 7 wins with a backup quarterback for over half of the season. Guys, think about this. The Detroit Lions lost their star offensive coordinator and their star defensive coordinator as well in the same season. Yes, I understand the Cowboys did as well, but they did that by their own choice, not by getting plucked away. The last time an NFC team both lost their offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator in the same season after having success in the NFL, making it to the postseason, they were a first-round exit. So, guys, the logic is there that the Dallas Cowboys are closer to the Super Bowl than the Detroit Lions. The logic is there that the Dallas Cowboys will win a Super Bowl or actually even go to a Super Bowl before the Detroit Lions. You guys can say all you want about this, and this. Dan Campbell, risk it, no biscuit, bite kneecaps, all the grit, whatever. But the truth of the matter is that the Detroit Lions shit the bed when it matters the most. Not a top 5 receiver, not a top 5 edge rusher, not a top 5 quarterback. The Dallas Cowboys have all of those guys. Plus, they have a hungry head coach. Plus, they got a hungry offensive coordinator. Plus, the front ownership or the front office understands like, hey, we know we haven't been the best in the world, but we've been drafting pretty well. So, guys, let me ask this question. Are the Dallas Cowboys closer to the Super Bowl than the Detroit Lions? Let me know in the comments below. John says, we had a great team and some great drafts in the years past, and F the Cowboys. Listen here, John. The Dallas Cowboys have had 13-win seasons. The Dallas Cowboys have had 14-win seasons. The Dallas Cowboys repeatedly make the playoffs year after year after year. Last year was a fluke. Let's just be honest about it. The Dallas Cowboys have also been nailing the draft. Was the issue Mike McCarthy? Is the issue Jerry Jones? We don't really know. I guess we'll find out this season when the Dallas Cowboys go to the Super Bowl. When the Dallas Cowboys knock out the Detroit Lions in the first round, and when the Dallas Cowboys go beat the Commanders in the divisional round, and then when the Dallas Cowboys go out there and beat the Eagles like baby back bitches in the championship round, we're going to understand who team drafts better, who coaching's better, right? And John says, how do we not have a top 5 edge rusher? Hutch is for sure. Hutch is not a edge rusher. He's a straight-up defensive end. When's the last time you saw Aiden Hutchinson drop back in coverage? Aiden Hutchinson is not an edge rusher. And then, even at defensive end, he's not even top 5 then. Slow it down, John. Slow it down. Josh says no. And the Lions will be much better than the Cowgirls next season and will blow them out again 47-9. Josh, how will the Detroit Lions be so much better than the Dallas Cowboys next season? The Dallas Cowboys are going to nail this draft. I have insider information. I've called down there and spoke to Deuce Vaughn's dad himself and said, yeah, we're going to nail this draft. We're going to draft a running back. We're going to draft a backup quarterback. We're going to add some depth to the offensive line. Bada bing, bada boom, to the moon, baby. Listen, I don't care about your 47-9 last season. That's last season, right? Remember, you still got to report eligible, Josh. Still got to report eligible. Dallas Cowboys winning the Super Bowl. Casey says, it's the same every year with the postseason hits. Cowboys, Chargers don't make the playoffs or eliminated in the first round, and all we hear about is how the Chargers are the Super Bowl favorites next year after one win or lose to the Cowboys, the Super Bowl favorites. Casey, this year's different, baby. This year's different. The Dallas Cowboys are closer to the Super Bowl than the Detroit Lions. Now, I'm not saying it's 2025. Hell, I'm not saying it's 2026. I'm not saying it's 2030. Hell, I'm not saying it's 2040. But I guarantee you the Dallas Cowboys will win a Super Bowl before the Detroit Lions do. John says the Cowboys blank the bed when they hit the playoffs every year for the last 30. And John, that is true. They have not done all that great in the playoffs. You are 100% correct. What have your Lions done in the playoffs? One NFC championship game? Congratulations. Congratulations. No, they now. The Lions are now, Alpha Rob? Are you saying the Lions are now? Slow it down, baby. Spooner Man's back in the chat today. What's up, Spooner Man? He says, I just got into the NFL as a 500-string head coach. Let's go. Let's go. But guys, the question is, are the Dallas Cowboys closer to the Super Bowl than the Detroit Lions? I'm saying yes.